You know what it is, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
You know who it is, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Ode, Maurice, Ode, Maurice.
Maurice, Ode, Maurice, Ode.
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo?
Are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy, black and snurdy. It's the Black and Snurdy podcast with Ode and Maurice.
How the game's being played, got going down. Something to know that I got to know now. Let me in the mud. Let me in the mud. That's all I really want is the nut. No, something. No, I want the butt. I honestly so I thought that song was so romantic when it first came out. Like, it was like, oh, that's thug love. You know what I mean? And then I heard the explicit version. It's just like, I'm just trying to get a nut. Man, I love that. I miss DMX. I miss that energy, man.
You know, I don't think I've ever heard the
Really?
raw version of that.
Oh my goodness. We gotta play that immediately after this, because it's literally, the chorus is just like, I'm trying to get a nut to show they want to give me the butt. What?
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
You know what we have to also watch
What?
for the culture?
What?
Belly.
Yes, for the culture, and I actually think that it's available maybe on HBO or something. I'll see, but
Ooh.
yeah, it's on my list of for the culture.
And
Yes.
we just watched what was that movie with Romeo Must Die?
Yes,
So
going
we
back
have to
and
talk about that one week because
oh
his
man, that's
cameo.
right. We watched that like before anything
We did.
regarding DMX.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was just because we were like, oh yeah, this movie's cool. It's blackness. Aaliyah.
yeah, Aaliyah's on
Oh,
there.
Aaliyah and DMX are back together, and
Yeah.
all right. I know.
I poured one out, and I'm gonna pour another one out.
Please, because he was very special. So
So what are we watching this week? This week, oh wait, hold on. Let me do some. Watch. My dad. Do not know me, but I'm watching you right now. Watch. Here we go. So what are we watching?
you're enjoying yourself.
Yes, honestly, if I don't, then who will?
Well, so we watched two things this week,
Mhm.
and the first one that we're going to talk about is a new thriller, psychological racial thriller
Mhm.
called Them. And I want you to tell the people, if you remember,
Mhm.
what was the name? I forgot what you said about this. What did you call this?
So for those of you, oh, you're asking me what this was?
You said it was like a certain type of genre, but now I don't remember what.
Oh,
what it
the
was exactly.
genre. Honestly, I should have wrote it down. It's yeah. I mean,
It was like psychological race.
yeah, psychological racial thriller.
Yes.
It might have been exactly what I said, because what we have in the subcategory when we as Black people are telling our stories. The
Mhm.
last few years, I would say there's been an uptick in which
Mhm.
we are
Jordan Peele.
not only are we casting these horror movies as leading in this majority us and it's
Mhm.
our story, but it's also playing with a lot of the historical experiences that we have experienced, that our people have experienced, and so it's coloring like this whole, there's a whole genre of it. You know what I mean?
Candyman.
Candyman, us, them. Oh, I did say, and no, I'm not making light.
This is proprietary information.
Yes, this is proprietary. I'm putting it in the mail, and I'm gonna mail it to myself. I already know that doesn't work. But, so I am currently, I'm planning on writing a script. It's gonna be along the lines of us and now them. Mine is gonna be called D's.
Now, people, I want you to tell us, because this is my personal opinion, that it should be a parody of the Black psychological racial thrillers a la Scary Movie and Not Another Teen Movie. I personally think it could be really funny.
I honestly don't know how to do a comedy in which it's psychological racial humor.
Listen, I feel like we could do it. We are
Oh,
super
boy.
creative.
Yes, we are very creative.
I mean, they've made movies out of more ridiculous things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
But
think we could do it.
I don't know. We'll have to figure out. But okay, so for the listeners, tell us a little bit about them.
Okay, so them is about a black family that moves to Compton in Los Angeles, which used to be all white before white flight, and then malevolent forces next door and out of the worldly threatened to taunt, ravage, and destroy them.
It's okay. You did not practice that voice before.
I didn't. It just came to me as I was talking.
Immediately.
It came to me as I was talking.
Thank you so much. I really hope the listeners can decipher.
Oh, okay. Basically, it's a black family moves to Compton,
Mm-hmm.
and basically they're being terrorized by both the whites in the area, the white racism, and then there's like some sort of supernatural poltergeistist bullshit happening also in the house. So it's like they're getting it from all sides.
Yeah, this takes place like in the past. You know what I mean?
I believe it was 90 because the father comes back from war.
Yes.
It's probably like 1956, I think, or 1954. Around that time.
It's like let's say the 1950s.
Yeah, 1950s.
Back when, like you just said, during that time when Compton was a just like all white neighborhood, you know, and it's so weird from like a cultural standpoint to think of it like that is, I guess, true that happened.
I mean, it's interesting when you think about most cities in the United States. There has been a lot of like reverse gentrification. Yeah. Like Flatbush, even though Flatbush has, for the most part, been a very like quote unquote diverse, you know, little Africa, little Caribbean area. Before that, it was a mostly like white neighborhood. Yeah. And there were some areas like Fort Totten. What? I always call it Fort Totten. We are not in Maryland. Fort Greene.
I don't know why.
I literally always call it Fort Totten.
Okay, why did Maryland have to come into this factor?
It's just I always call it Fort Totten. It's just I'm used to saying Fort Totten for some reason.
Okay,
Howard Days come back to me.
Fort Greene.
When you mean Fort Greene. Anyway,
okay,
so now like that area is like, or used to be like when Spike Lee was growing up, super black.
Yes.
But before that, it was mostly like Italian, Polish. Like there's just the areas have changed, but most of that change was due to white flight. When black people would move in, they would move out. When my grandparents had their brownstone on Herkimer, there was, when they were moving in, a lot of the white people moved out, and then all of a sudden the property rate started to go down, redlining, all that other racial bullshit.
Yes.
So it was really interesting to be like, oh, we're in Compton, and these Negroes are here. And then when they were talking about Watts, did you ever see that movie with Tyrese called Watts?
No.
It's this whole like,
oh my God! First off, put it on the list. We're gonna have to watch that with Belly. Okay, but
it's to think about when you look at our cultural zeitgeist now.
You don't even need to describe what it is. It's
you already
Watts
know it's Watts.
Tyrese. Okay.
And there was a whole song about it.
I have an image in my head about it.
I just think that Compton and Watts, when you think about LA, is the places that you think of as black people are there.
Yep.
It may or may not be like the nicest areas. Yeah. I wasn't Compton where Rodney King was beat up or somewhere around there.
Look, Compton is a part of our culture as much as I would say like New York City or something. I don't know. Or, you know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's one of those cities where you just know. It's like when people say Marcy Projects. Imagine if you were to look back and you go to Marcy Projects. I mean,
you do that now.
Now it's pretty white.
It's pretty much like just a cupcake place that's right across the street from the juice place. That's right across the street from the.
And fun fact, I don't know if you know,
from the project building,
there are tours now of Marcy Projects where white people go around and take photos and be like, "This is where Jay-Z lived."
You know what's funny?
Yeah,
I lived right over there for 2 years in a slumlord's paradise. It was very disgusting and it was awful. Shout out to the interracial couple who was living in the basement in the room right next to mine. And boy, oh boy, there was a lot of fighting and argument and domestic abuse and racial abuse as well, because it's like, well, like, holy crap, he just beat the shit out of her. But then it was also like, oh, wow, she literally called him the N-word, like just straight up. And then,
it was a white woman and a black man. Gosh, there's so many layers to that story.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just
do we want to shout them out, or do we want to hope that they're in therapy and living
no,
lives?
oh boy, when I say shout them out, I mean, like, thank you for just, like, I really hope y'all are okay, like, individually. I don't mean for your relationship. Y'all were horrible together, and y'all kept me up a lot back then. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm up and awake and listening to this awful nightmare. I'm gonna put some Adult Swim on or something, because now I can't get back to sleep.
Well, speaking of nightmares.
But yeah, I lived in Marcy Projects. I mean, not in I lived near there. There's a chicken spot. It was my favorite chicken spot. They have a picture of Jay-Z just on the wall, like, yeah, he used to come to this chicken spot all the time. And I was just like, oh, that's cool. I'm eating the same chicken that Jay-Z ate.
But
that's a long way to go for that.
Back to them.
I don't even know if it was worth it.
They basically they move into this area. It's all white.
Yes.
And we watched the first 2 episodes.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that this is my takeaway from the show already, because I think, Amazon didn't do for them what they did
for Zaddy.
what they did for Invincible, where they do like 1 episode each week.
Yeah.
It's just like everything's out there.
Yeah, they did the Netflix route for this one. And initially I was upset when I was just like, wait a minute, all the episodes are available? Like, that's messed up. Now I kind of see why. I mean,
personally, if this show, just off the first 2 episodes, there's already a backstory that is disturbing to me in a way that I'm not really interested in. So, like, now this is spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Now, this is the thing for me. If we continue watching this show and I find out that white lady stole their baby and used it for something weird or killed it, like, there's just some stories that I personally don't think we need to see in the midst of there being black bodies on TV just on the regular.
I mean, look, honestly, I would disagree with you in that, yes, this is a very uncomfortable sort of storyline that they're setting up, and there's already a lot of theories that people are like posting online and stuff like that. I would say that if that is the route that they're going down, it's not. I hate saying stuff like this, and obviously not like removing the supernatural aspect of it. It's not like that's never happened.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
White people taking black people
at any point.
At any point, yeah.
We know.
Like, I'm not talking about children. I'm talking about all of us. Like, adults, women, children, all of us.
Like, no, that's
American
a thing
history
that they do. For me, I don't know how much I personally can take.
Right.
Of just really having a very just traumatic experience on top of the fact that there's scary shit happening.
Yeah, okay,
the
I understand.
Scary shit by itself is enough to make me be like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
But now I have to think about, did they take Little C? I don't remember his name, but I'm calling him Little C.
Okay.
Because Baby C, Little C.
Yeah.
But I think they called him Caesar. Was the baby's name?
I believe that might be the case.
First of all, that was the cutest fucking baby.
First off, all of the kids on the show
are so fucking
all the black kids. All the black kids. Yeah.
But did you realize that Shahidi Wright Joseph, she's the eldest daughter, and she's the one that was in Us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
And she's gotten super tall. And that movie only came out 2 years ago, and she's grown like a weed. I feel like an auntie. I'm like, wow, look how big she's gotten.
Let's be real. You are auntie.
I'm auntie adjacent.
Like, no, you're auntie description.
That's fine. fine.
I'm
don't mind being
honestly,
around
I
you.
can imagine you in a robe puttering around the house.
Yes, I mean I like to putter, and I like robes. They're soft.
There we go. I actually do like robes and they're really soft. I actually like. I've always this is a weird tangent, but for a long time, I always associated bathrobes with two things, with like luxury
Mm-hmm.
and or being a gangster, because I've only for
Mm.
some reason like it just in
I
my
feel
head
like-
I grew up was just like, man, that
works.
that feels like drug money.
Yeah, because I feel like the mobsters, they'll always have like their robe open and they're like just in their boxer shorts,
Yeah.
maybe a wife beater.
Somehow they have like all the gold rings in the world on their hands.
And like they just are just swinging with their luxurious robes. And also, if you're like, a businessman, you're in your house, you have your comfy robe with your slippers, it works.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman, and I have a robe myself.
Now,
Yes.
something that you had brought up to me when we were watching
Mhm.
was that you felt like the father was not a good husband.
Okay, so right off the rip, right off the bat, in the first episode, the whole premise is that this family is moving to this neighborhood, right?
Mhm.
In the car, he straight up is just like, yeah, like of course there's gonna be like black people there, like it's just, of course. Like in my head, that's it. Okay. So obviously, I want everybody to take a shot anytime you ever hear me do an impression. Because guess what? Those impressions are always terrible. Anyhow, so he's just...
You're gonna be drunk.
But exactly, you will. But the father essentially tricks his family into going there by saying, like, yeah, there's going to be black people. And not only are they the only black family in this neighborhood, and in this very bored suburban neighborhood where A, it's racism left and right, and B, it's just a whole bunch of just like housewives that are just
It's Karenville.
Yes, it's Karenville. They have nothing better to do than to like take their folding lawn chairs and sit right outside the house.
And
Like,
playing that music, I literally like when she came out at the like towards the end of the first episode with the gun.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm surprised she didn't do that earlier because that is psychological torture.
Yeah.
And the fact I'm like, I really just realized that being a mean girl is in white people's epigenetics.
Yeah, I
because
think so too.
they have literally been the pettiest of patties for no reason other than they wanted to. And I'm speaking specifically about white women.
Yeah,
and
I'm also agreeing with you about white women.
I'm gonna find.
Imagine you spent your entire life being number two, just culturally. Imagine.
And you're trying to vie to be number one.
Exactly. And while you're number two and you're trying to be number one, but you're being kept down, and yet somehow you're still partnering with that bullshit. In order to make yourself feel better, you look down below you to see who else, and then just the bullshit just rolls downhill. And that's why I don't give a fuck about these white women.
There's a book, and I don't remember the title off the top of my head, but I'm gonna put it in the show notes. But it's called "They Were Slave Owners Too" or whatever, and it talks about white women owning slaves in the South, the antebellum, whatever.
Yeah.
And because I think that when we watch, Gone with the Wind and all these other slave narratives. The white women are like the damsel in distress. So we don't really get to see the true stories of the fact that these white women were buying, selling, raping, beating, mutilating, being the cause of the mutilating for slaves.
Lying on us.
Like, I mean, there was so much that happened. And I read Narrative of the Life of a Slave Girl, which is a true story. It's one of those books that you read and you don't want to look at white people for like a week or longer. Yeah. And that one, even though of course, because like it's made in like 18 whatever, she definitely was a lot more chaster. She didn't describe things as bluntly as we would have now, or like when you read books about slavery now. But everything she talked about, it was just like, you saw the damage that white women were doing, but no one ever thinks of them as being the damagers.
Of course.
When in reality, so much of the reason why all of us in general have not come up to where we should be as like an equitable society is because white women have been so married to whiteness and white feminism that they have literally kept us back. Because at the end of the day, when one person particularly a black person, a black woman,
Mhm.
gets something, that means everybody is going to get it.
Yes.
So, but they have been so racist and idiotic
Mhm.
that they don't care if they're going to also benefit from the thing,
Mhm.
even though they currently benefit from affirmative action way more
Mhm.
than us. They benefit from welfare
Mhm.
and housing lotteries and all those things
Mhm.
way more than us, but yet and still would be do stupid, ridiculous shit
Mhm.
like sit outside your house
Yeah.
with boom boxes
Mhm.
and trying to scare you out of a neighborhood
Mhm.
for no other reason but that you're black.
Yeah. But yeah, the father's bad.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I know I went on a tangent.
Yeah, no,
I did.
yeah, like it's just the fact that look, I'm in later in the second episode, you find out that there's a level of PTSD because he came back from the war. But even with that being said, like to just take your family and put them in this environment. Look, like you know what this is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to sort of put them in that environment. Without telling them, that's what it was. Without
I think the
telling
thing
them.
is that one kind of in that time, the same way as of in a slightly way now, you can't bring your family. What black family is going to move anywhere and not be impacted by racism?
Yeah.
So you can't, even if you say, yeah, there's a lot of black people there, or there will be black people there, like you're still going to be impacted by it. And two, from what they're showing of where they were living before and whatever happened to them before, it was. I'm assuming that it must have been great enough where this was like, even if we're about to be a bunch of all these white people,
somehow
they're going
this
to be
is
better
than where we came from.
Yeah, so that's my only thinking. That's my only kind of grace for him.
Yeah.
But I want to say,
white dude came in and at some point and killed the dogs. Like they're in the basement trying to.
I don't think the white dude killed the dog. I think the poltergeist, Miss Karen, whatever, Miss Vera.
There is a poltergeist.
His name is Miss.
You know what? No, moving forward, yeah, we're calling it Miss Karen. Yeah, I'm not calling it Miss Vera. It's like, where did you sing that song? It's a Karen. Look at these Karens.
I think that's what we're calling him, Karen the poltergeist.
Yeah.
But I think that the Karen killed the dog, and then but like no one knows. And I just want to say, this is now one thing bad part on the family. You're moving to an all-white neighborhood. You better get you a better dog than that.
Yeah,
because what is that dog doing for you?
That was
that little tiny beagle type of
like
mutt
a
thing.
little terrier, I believe.
But yeah, it was like a terrier. A terrier is not doing nothing. You want to need a terrier? You need yourself a pit bull. Get an American red nose terrier. Get you some blue nose terrier. You better get something else, because that dog is not cutting it when the white people are stalking you outside your home.
Yeah, yeah.
And they like dogs, so they're not going to kill them. You remember how his boss
was
all crying about whatever sprinkles?
That's right. Yeah.
Like being super racist, and then it's like, oh, my dog died, and then it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's what a fun thing is always true. Like white racism exists, but you love animals. Fuck off. Anyhow.
So we're
gonna struggle to watch.
It's gonna be a struggle. I'm gonna give you, out of a 10. Right now, my interest in watching it is a 5.
Okay, that's fair.
And I'm really.
It's
nervous.
It's less about the cinematography or even the writing.
All
of the
is
character.
Really great.
It's what you're saying is that you just don't like this. You find the storyline like scary and traumatizing.
Yeah,
and triggering. So that's completely understandable. So when you say give it a 5, that's the reason why. You know what I mean? Like the acting on there is top notch. For me, I'm giving it about 7.5. I'm interested in where things go. I will be watching it with the light on moving forward.
Yeah, and also it's like watching SpongeBob or Adventure Time
immediately afterward.
Saging the place.
Like but first and foremost, I'm watching this in the morning. Like I'm not watching this like at night, in the nighttime.
No.
When I have dreams, no. Wake up when I don't have dreams.
Okay, so the next thing we watched, and this is going to be a short one, but I think that it's fine because it was good. It was a good episode.
Yeah, we're still tackling the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. No, it's a really good show.
I think it's pretty good. I think Now, this is the stuff I hate about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Captain America's face.
Yes.
I hate it.
This has been on the record. You've said this to the point where I'm like, yeah, no, you don't have to say it anymore.
Well, and also this bootleg, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, they found a bootleg him. And I'm serious that I feel like they did this on purpose. And I think that they purposely cast the people that they cast for Captain America. And what was his name? Battlestar?
Galactica? Bishop.
Battlestar. Lamar. I feel like they purposely cast those two people as people we would find unlikable.
Yeah.
Because you already know you put a black man, the whole dynamic of this white man having this black sidekick, don't like it.
Yeah, and it's already first and foremost, like, the fact is, like, oh yeah, Captain America, and it's not sidekick, but his good friend who also is an Avenger, the Falcon. Now we have a new Captain America. And what's this guy? Battlestar.
God.
Wait a minute, in timeout. I feel dumb. About this, and I'm not, it's fine. But we're 4 episodes in? I didn't realize that the new Captain America didn't have some type of super soldier serum going on.
Oh.
I thought that I just thought, like, oh, Captain America. So they not only did did they replace Captain America, like, not even, like, the dirt isn't even on the fucking coffin, but they replaced Steve Rogers with this punchable face ass Captain America and gave him a black sidekick. But he's not even, like, as powerful as a Captain America. He's not a fucking super soldier.
But you know what? Isn't that
on Battlestar?
An allegory for, like, America, specifically white America, is like you propping yourself up as, like, this shining light when really you have no skin in the game. Really, like, you have no credence. You don't deserve this position because who the fuck are you?
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
But Lamar, and spoiler alert.
All of this is spoiler alert.
Lamar, I'm sorry. I'm glad you got this role in the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm. What's the actor's name?
The actor's name is
You know what? Shout out to you, dude. Like, I get it, like, getting that Disney Plus money,
His name is Clay Bennett.
Yes. So
I'm sorry that I called you but damn, he really looks kind of like Chadwick Boseman a little bit. You guys can be cousins. I'm sorry I called you a bootleg Chadwick.
Honestly, it's not even your fault. It's let's blame it on Disney.
I do, because you want to know what?
Disney.
They give him certain ways that he's moving and talking that just reminds me of Chadwick.
Yeah.
And the way they had his hair and all that was what was pissing me off. So, Clay, I hope that your Battlestar character gets the best funeral possible, but I'm really glad I don't have to see your face anymore.
Yeah.
And I just think that it was a great setup for hopefully me never to have to see Captain America's face anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Because Bucky's going to kill him.
Yeah, Bucky's
going or the Dora Milaje.
First, everybody, like, whooped the fuck out of this Captain America.
When the Dora Milaje whooped his ass, when she said the Dora Milaje's jurisdiction is wherever the fuck the Dora Milaje are, I said, yes, black woman. Thank you very much. I am wherever I want to be.
Exactly.
And I will be there without your permission because I don't need it.
There was a debate online that I saw, and I'll just make this real quick about, because there's a scene where, during the Dora Milaje fighting Captain America and Battlestar, basically they just, like, do beep pop boop to Bucky's arm and it falls off. They deactivated it. And the argument was just like, oh, that's messed up that, like, they didn't trust Bucky. Like, first and foremost, the fact that they helped this white dude, didn't have to. And guess what? Don't owe him any sort of fucking trust.
And also, you always put his failsafe in something.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be dumb not to.
See, exactly. That is what I'm talking about. First and foremost, anything, if I'm giving you something that could potentially come back to bite me, I'm setting myself up to know how to disable you or beat your ass. Okay.
Yes.
So no. It's called being smart. It's called forward thinking. It's called Black Queens. Shout out to the Dora Milaje.
Love them.
Fantastic.
I think this episode was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see where Nemo went. He went his El Chapo ass.
Where's Zemo? First and foremost.
Oh,
okay.
I always call him Nemo.
I know, and is
because every time I hear his name, it always makes me laugh, and I always think of him as like Nemo, Finding Nemo.
Yep, and as a comic book enthusiast, that is completely not infuriating every single time you do it. Boy, oh boy, but even the ending of the episode, I look, man, the world, I saw where this was going.
Oh yeah, he is crazy. Captain America has fucking crazy eyes.
Yeah, of course. But hey, you know what? Hey, I look forward to seeing his downfall.
Me too, and I really want Bucky to kill him.
Yeah, it should be Bucky.
Sam's not going to kill him. He's too much of a good guy. But Bucky, rip his head off, please. Thank you. Because he's a dumbass. He's going to misuse it. And we don't need those type of problems.
Yeah. Them type of problems. Yo, let's get some water. Let's get some water. We'll be right back.
You're ridiculous. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD THATSOD.E, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Sturdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.